Welcome to my very first attempt at virtual yoga. To begin with, come into a comfortable seat for you, whether that's child's pose, an easy seat, or flat on your back. You want to find a posture that you can sustain for a few breaths, giving yourself the opportunity to mentally shift gears. So as you settle in, close your eyes and take a moment to check in with yourself mentally, to notice how you feel, what's going on in your mind, what distractions you might have. Practicing at home, we often have different distractions than we would have when we're practicing in a studio. So being aware of those, acknowledging those, and then setting an intention for yourself to be present for the next 45 minutes or so. Next, checking in with your breath. Noticing how you breathe by default before you make any changes, whether you breathe through nose or mouth, into your belly or into your chest. As you observe the breath, now begin to deepen it, allowing the next few inhales to become richer and fuller, inhaling all the way to the pit of your belly and exhaling out completely. And then finally beginning to bring in Ujjayi breath. So seal your lips, breathe in and out through your nose, and tighten across the back of your throat as if you were going to whisper, so that your breath begins to rasp, begins to fill up the space around you and anchor you into this present moment right now. Finally, begin to observe your body, noticing how you feel. Not only noticing the areas where you might be tight or sore, but also noticing where you might feel good, where you feel strong and limber, able to push a little harder, and noticing where you may need to dial back and show yourself a little love and compassion. Now finally, from that awareness, allow yourself to begin to move organically. It doesn't have to look like anything in particular, just simply some little stretches, twists, whatever feels nice for you. Over the next 10 breaths or so, move as you need to move. You'll notice that in the video I am not moving. I simply did not feel the need to do so today. So you bring in what you need to do. Eventually, however, you will make your way onto all fours. Once you get there, moving through cat and cow. On an inhale, take your gaze up to the ceiling, letting your belly drop. Exhale, round the spine, gaze in towards your belly. Moving with your breath. Every inhale, taking the gaze up. Every exhale, rounding the spine. Beginning to articulate all through the spine, bringing in space and movement. And so finally coming back to a neutral spine as you're ready. Then on an inhale, sweep your right arm up to the ceiling, big open stretch. And thread that arm underneath, letting the right shoulder and right cheek come down to the mat. Left hand could press into the mat or wrap across your back as you need. When you're ready to move on, sweep the right arm back up to the ceiling on an inhale. Exhale, planted on your mat. Inhale, left arm sweeps up to the ceiling. Exhale, thread it under. Left shoulder, left cheek to the mat. Right hand pressing into the mat or across your back. On an inhale, release, sweeping the left arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, planted on your mat. Curl your toes under, bring your knees to a hover 2 inches off the mat. Press the mat away, engage through your lower core. Steady focus or drishti straight down towards your mat. Just a little moment to wake up here through all parts of your body before pressing your hips up and back, downward facing dog. In down dog, bring in whatever movement you might need, pedaling out your feet, shifting into your shoulders. Again, just continuing this exploration of what's going on within your own body right now. Then sweep your right leg up to the ceiling, bend your knee, open your hip. Take any movement that feels good, rotating out knee or ankle or hip. And then draw your knee to your nose, cheetah. Three-legged dog. Knee to nose. Three-legged. One more time, knee to nose, hug it in tight. Step it forward, low lunge, back knee all the way down, arms sweep up towards the ceiling. Taking any arm variation you need. And then clasp your hands behind your back, lengthen down to open chest, heart, and throat. Release the bind, left hand to the mat, right arm to the ceiling, lengthen through your back leg. And then step it back, high plank. Lower all the way down to your mat, slow and controlled. 3 cobras with your breath. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release. 2 more with your breath. Inhale, draw it up, shoulders draw down. Exhale, release. 1 more, inhale up. Exhale down. Curl your toes. With control, press back up to high plank. Downward facing dog. Left leg to the ceiling. Bend your knee, open your hip, take the movement that you need. When you're ready, 3 cheetahs with your breath. So an exhale draws knee to nose, inhale sweeps it up. Exhale, knee to nose, inhale, sweep it up. 1 more time, exhale, knee to nose, cheetah. Step it forward, low lunge, arms sweep all the way up. Maybe cactusing your arms to get a little deeper into the chest. And then clasp your hands behind your back, lengthen down, open through the chest. Open, twist, right hand down, left arm sweeps up, lengthen through the back leg. Plant your hands, step it back, high plank, and lower to your mat. Twisted cobra to the right. Taking the gaze over the right shoulder, inhale, draw it up. Exhale, release. To the left, inhale up. Exhale down. Float your palms, cobra without your hands, inhale up. Exhale, release. High plank. Down dog. Tiptoe to the top of your mat for ragdoll. Feet hip distance apart, grab onto opposite elbows. Let your upper body hang heavy. Bring in any movement you might need here. Swaying through the low back, the neck, the shoulders, whatever feels good to you. Left hand drops to the mat, left knee bends deep, right arm sweeps up. And then change it out, right hand down, left hand up, right knee bends. Forward fold. Mountain, draw yourself all the way up to standing. Grab onto your left wrist, reach up and over to the right. Inhale through center, exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale back through center, bring your hands to your lower back, gaze up and back, getting as big as you need here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step to down dog or chaturanga flow. We're going to break this down a couple of rounds so you can choose whatever path serves you. When you're ready, top of your mat, step or float. Half lift, fold. Inhale up, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back, high plank. Shifting forward on your toes, drop your knees. Lower halfway down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Top of your mat, step or float. Inhale to half lift, exhale, fold. Mountain, sweep it all the way up, ground down as you reach up. Forward fold. Halfway lift to lengthen your spine, plant your hands, step it back, high plank. Shift forward on your toes, lower halfway down, chaturanga with knees up, upward facing to downward facing dog. Last variation, top of your mat, step or float. Half lift, fold, mountain. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, jump it back, chaturanga, landing with soft elbows, upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Top of your mat, step or float. Last round, half lift, fold, mountain. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga flow to down dog, taking whichever method worked best for you. No right, no wrong, choosing your best path. 3 deep breaths in downward facing dog. And then step or float to the top of your mat. Half lift, fold, thunderbolt. Feet at hip distance apart or closer, knees right over toes, arms sweep up. On an exhale, sweep your arms back, bowing forward, lifting the heels. Inhale, back to Thunderbolt. 2 more times. Exhale, sweep the arms back. Inhale, coming back to Thunderbolt. Exhale, sweep the arms back. Inhale to Thunderbolt. Forward fold. Half lift. Chaturanga flow. Sweep your right leg up to the ceiling and step it forward. Warrior one. Ground down the outer edge of your back foot. Both arms reach up, drawing both sides of your chest towards the front of your mat. Adding a hint of a back bend at the top of your pose, then plant your hands. Chaturanga flow. Perhaps letting the right leg float if you need to intensify. Left leg to the ceiling, step it forward. On an inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling, warrior one. Ground down the outer edge of your back foot. On an inhale, take the gaze up and back. Exhale, plant your hands, chaturanga flow. Option to lift the leg. Downward facing dog. Deep breath or two here to reset, and then step or float to the top of your mat. Half lift, fold, Thunderbolt. Open twist to the right. Right arm sweeps back, left arm forward. Inhale through center, open twist to the left. Inhale through center, forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga flow to down dog. As always, taking whichever path works for you. Inhale the right leg to the ceiling. Exhale, step it forward, finding warrior one again. Arms sweep up. This time on an exhale, cactus your arms, gaze up and back. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, extend. Last time, exhale, cactus. Inhale, extend. Chaturanga flow. I'm adding on the variation here of coming into a chin stand. You find what you need. Only adding what is necessary for you. Left leg sweeps up to the ceiling and then steps forward, warrior one. 3 little cactuses with your breath. Exhale to cactus the arms, gaze up and back. Inhale to extend. 2 more times, cactus and extend. Cactus, extend, chaturanga flow. Again, finding whichever path works for you. Downward facing dog, step or float to the top of your mat. Half lift, fold, Thunderbolt. Draw your hands to heart center, close, twist to the right. Left elbow outside right knee, trying to keep the knees in alignment. Hips lower than shoulders. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga flow. Sweep the right leg up to the ceiling, step it forward, warrior one. Clasp your hands behind your back, lengthen down to open your chest, and then bow forward, finding humble warrior one. Right shoulder inside right knee, hands float off your lower back. They may not be as high as mine, but that feeling of hands floating off the low back. On an inhale, sweep the arms back up to the ceiling, warrior one, chaturanga flow. Left leg to the ceiling, step it forward, warrior one. As you're ready, taking it into humble warrior, try to clasp your hands with the wrong thumb on top, lengthen down to open the chest, and then bow it forward, humble warrior. Letting your hands float off the back, letting your head release and hang down to the mat. Inhale, both arms back up to the ceiling. Exhale, chaturanga flow, back to downward facing dog. Pausing for a moment, either in child's pose or down dog, checking back in with your breath, with your presence, with your intention, and checking in to see how you're feeling with your practice. Just a little moment to pause and reset. And curl your toes, press back, downward facing dog. Top of your mat, step or float. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, Thunderbolt. Option here to add on, either taking just an additional twist to the right Opening the arms or taking it into a side crow if that's within your practice. Extended side crow if it's in your practice, taking what you need. As you're complete, you'll forward fold, taking your feet to hip distance apart. Wrap your first 2 fingers around your big toes and actively draw yourself deeper into the fold. You can put a soft bend in your knees if that feels better to you. And as you're ready, coming back to Thunderbolt and taking this to the left. Again, either staying just in the twist and enjoying that, or taking it into a side crow. Finding whatever it is that you need to find in your practice right now. As your complete forward fold, feet back to hip distance, palms underneath the feet. Again, actively using the arms to draw yourself deeper into your fold. Let your head hang heavy. Let it release. And then release that. Walk your feet out to the width of your mat, toes turned out, Malasana. Elbows pushing the knees more open, hands to heart center. Option to add on a twist, reaching the right arm in front of the right knee, left arm up to the ceiling. And when you're ready, changing it out. Finally, forward fold, walk your feet back in, and play with crow. Hands shoulder distance apart. Chaturanga arms, knees way high up the arms, toes draw towards each other. And then perhaps shooting it back, upward facing to downward facing dog, or simply walking back to downward facing dog as we prepare to move on. Sweep the right leg up to the ceiling, take it to your right elbow. 3-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow. 3-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, option to add an arm balance if you enjoy that, and then sweep it right back up to the ceiling. Bend your knee, open your hip. Stay right there or flip your dog. Getting as big as you need to get here. You guys are going to get to see me make a whole lot of mistakes in this next part of the flow. It'll be kind of entertaining. Back to 3-legged dog. Now take your knee across to your left elbow and kick it through for fallen triangle. You can grab onto your foot or just kick it through. 3-legged dog. And set that foot down. Sweep the left leg up to the ceiling, tap your left elbow, 3-legged dog. Draw it across the body, right elbow, 3-legged dog. To the left elbow, possibly adding an arm balance or not, 3-legged dog. Bend your knee, open your hips, stay, or flip your dog. Coming back around a 3-legged dog and kick it through, fallen triangle. Option to grab the foot or just to kick that foot on through, whichever you prefer. 3-legged dog. Set it down. Downward facing dog. I'm going to start to build an infinity flow here. I'm going to take it first on one leg and then on the other, just so that you can see directions. So from forward fold, you'll stand all the way up mountain. Hands to heart center, pause for a beat. Ground down through your feet, anchor in. First, we're going to take a little balance tree, left leg up, hands to heart center. Arms could reach all the way up, a little hard to see in this video, but you can see a little bit in the shadow, maybe adding a back bend if you can choose to do so. And coming back to mountain, hands at heart center, reset, and take it to the second side. Taking a tree on the right, your right foot will either come to your shin or your thigh, wherever you need it to be. Starting with palms at heart center, and then extending up. And taking your pose as far as you need to go. Not worrying if you fall out of a posture. The goal of this is simply to play and explore. Get out of your normal routine. Coming back to mountain. Now we'll start to build that infinity flow. All an infinity flow means is it continues to move side to side. Step your left leg up in front of you, left ankle over right knee. This is figure 4, hands to heart center. Sit as deep as you comfortably can. Open it out, half moon. Right hand down towards the mat, left arm up. Stepping all the way back, finding Skandasana. Heel could be lifted, heel could be down. As you can see, you might also lose your balance. Finding what you need to find and shifting back forward, warrior 2. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Left arm reaches up and over. Wide-legged forward fold. Turn everything in. And keep walking towards the back of your mat to find a triangle. Left toes towards the back of your mat. Right arm up. Sweep everything around high crescent up high on your back toes. Hands to heart center, adding a twist. Plant your hands on your mat. In a normal mat, you just be able to step forward here, finding a standing split. My space is a little confined. Draw your right leg up in front of you now, standing leg raise. Ankle over knee, figure 4. Taking all this to this other side. Open out, half moon, left hand down, right hand up. Step it back, Skandasana. Shifting back forward again, warrior 2. Reverse. Extended. Bowing everything forward, wide-legged forward fold. And walking around now to the top of your mat, triangle. Right toes towards the front of the room, left arm up. Sweep everything down towards the mat and then up towards the ceiling, high crescent, turning your back toes in. Hands to heart center, crescent twist. Plant your hands, sweep your left leg up to the ceiling, standing splits. Forward fold. I'm going to change which leg we lead with now just so that you can see things from the other direction in case that's of use to you. Standing all the way up, mountain. Step your right leg up in front of you. Cross ankle over knee, figure 4, hands to heart center. Open out, half moon. Big expansion. Stepping all the way towards the back of your mat, Skandasana. Coming back towards the top of your mat, warrior 2. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Possibly adding a bind or a half bind if you prefer. Walking everything around, wide-legged forward fold. Turning now towards the back of your mat, triangle. And then turning the back toe in, bend deep into the front knee, high crescent. Hands to heart center, crescent twist. Plant your hands, sweep your left leg up to the ceiling, standing splits. Again, step it all the way up in front of you, standing leg raise on the second side. Ankle over knee, figure 4. Expand out, half moon. Stepping back, Skandasana. And then shifting forward, warrior 2. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle, possibly adding a bind or half bind. Walk it in, wide-legged forward fold. Taking it to the back of the mat, triangle. Coming up high on the back toes, bending deep into the front knee, high crescent. Hands to heart center, twist. Standing split, sweep the right leg up to the ceiling. I'm going to take one more round, this time giving you options to add on if you choose. Having a little pause as you draw the right leg all the way up, standing leg raise to figure 4, ankle over knee. Option here to add an arm balance if you choose, or simply to sit deeper into the pose. As you're ready, expanding out, half moon. Option to take it into sugarcane or lose your balance as I just did, but grabbing onto the top leg and expanding out if that serves you. Stepping it back, Skandasana. As you're ready, shifting all the way forward again, warrior 2. Reverse. Extended. Option here to take a bind. I chose to take it into bird of paradise, but you have a little moment to play here to get what you want to get out of that extended side angle. So option to play with bird of paradise if that's something that you like. Either way, when you're ready, you'll come back into a warrior 2. And then walk everything around wide-legged forward fold. If you're a headstander, this might be an opportunity to bring that in. Then taking it to the back of the mat, triangle. Coming up high crescent. Hands to heart center, twist, crescent twist. Option to take it into an arm balance if you choose to. And then finally into standing splits. I chose here to play with little handstand hops. You could also walk your hands in, grab onto your standing leg and play with balance. Find what you need to find. When you're ready, however, step the left leg up in front of you, standing leg raise into figure 4. Again, option to play however you choose to play. Sitting deeper or coming into an arm balance. As you're ready, expanding out into half moon or sugarcane. Difference here is that in sugarcane, you're holding on to that top foot. Getting a big arch through the back. Finally stepping it back into Skandasana. Give yourself freedom to move around in that pose as you need. Finally coming back to Warrior Two, reverse your warrior. Extended side angle, taking whatever variation of play you choose. Again, as you can see here, I chose to take Bird of Paradise, but you take what works for you. As you're ready, plant your foot, step it back. Warrior Two into wide-legged forward fold, taking any variation you like. Triangle moving back now to the top of your mat. High crescent coming up high on your back toes. Hands to heart center, twist. Standing splits, taking whatever variation you want to play with. Little handstand hops or little balances, whatever you need it to be. As you're complete, however, you'll step all the way back, take yourself through a chaturanga flow. Check back in with your breath. Rebuilding Ujjayi breath if you've lost it. Walk your feet in a little, adding a twist, right hand to left ankle, gaze under the left arm, and then changing it out. Then finally a little moment of play. Right leg reaches up, bend the knee, take your left hand, reach up, try to grab onto that foot. You may succeed, you may not. As you can see, I did not completely. It's okay. The idea here is just to play and explore. And when you're ready, take it to the other side. We're never looking for perfection. We're looking for play, for exploration, for trying things on and trying to challenge ourselves. When you're complete, lower all the way down to your belly, take your arms long by your sides, and allow everything to float off the mat, locust. Hug everything in towards your center line, lengthen away to draw up, and then release, taking one cheek to the mat. Open ring, reach your right arm out long and roll onto your right side, opening up through the front of the right shoulder. That right arm could also be bent like a cactus swing or out straight, whichever you prefer. And give yourself a few breaths just to open up through the front of the right shoulder. And then when you're ready, you're going to take it to the other side. Reaching the left arm out long, rolling onto the left side, getting into the front of the left shoulder now. In this posture, legs can go wherever they don't bother you. So if there's a place where you can prop them to make it a little easier to stay on your side or sweep one leg behind you, the focus is entirely into the front of the shoulder. So you choose what you need. You're complete on both sides, bend your knees, reach back, grab onto the tops of your feet or your ankles, and kick into your hands to find floor bow. Legs here are doing all of the work, arms simply hanging on, pressing up and back into a deeper back bend. And you're complete, flip all the way over, coming onto your back. I'm going to take a few back bends here. I'll give you a couple of variations, starting, however, with just a bridge. Feet parallel, drive down through your heels, heels directly beneath the kneecaps. Perhaps taking a bind of your hands underneath your low back so you can press your triceps more into the mat and give yourself a little more lift. Exhale to release. You can stay right where you were with bridge, or you can take it up into wheel. Give yourself a moment to get set and then press all the way up. 3 deep breaths once you get there. Using the breath to expand into the posture. Every inhale brings in more space. Every exhale, more stability. Exhale, release to reset. And then on an inhale, take it right back up again. Option here to play with getting a little bit bigger by centering one foot, taking the other one up to the ceiling. That could also be done in bridge if you prefer to stay in bridge. As you're complete, you'll release all the way back down. Pause, reset, rotate out your wrists if you need, shake out what you need. And then on an inhale, you'll take it right back up again, bridge or wheel as you need. If you played with taking one leg up, this time play with taking the other leg up to the ceiling. And then exhale, release all the way back down. And I chose to end my practice, this portion of my practice, with a supported bridge, placing a block underneath my low back You could also do this with a bolster, a pillow, a rolled up towel, whatever it is that you've got handy, or simply taking another bridge, whatever you prefer. In a moment, we're going to move into inversion of your choice. I choose to take waterfall because they already have that block there. So waterfall, just taking your feet up to the ceiling. But if you'd prefer to take a shoulder stand or a headstand, it's a good opportunity to take that. If you have chosen waterfall, you can close your eyes, take your arms out wide, and just settle into breath. Just allowing yourself a few moments to let your legs be overhead. A little change of perspective. A chance to dial down the nervous system and start to calm things down a little. And then you'll move into your counter poses. So for waterfall, it could be taking your legs long on the mat with the block under your sacrum, if that feels nice to you, or staying where you were. Shoulder stand would go through plow and deaf man's. A headstand would come into child's pose. Giving yourself a few breaths in your counter pose. And then finally coming out of your counter pose and all the way onto your back, we're going to start with a wide twist. Feet to the width of your mat, both knees drop to the left, gaze to the right. If you need more, that left foot can come to rest on your right knee, drawing it deeper down towards the mat. Take a big breath in, open mouth, sigh it out. Letting something release. Coming back through center again, feet wide, both knees, then drop to the other side. Right foot can press down on the left knee to deepen the twist. As you settle in, take a deep breath in, open mouth, sigh it out. Coming back through center now, shifting into a closed twist. Shift your hips 2 inches to the right, cross your right foot leg over the left. Let knees drop to the left, gaze to the right. And again, as you settle into your twist, take a nice deep breath in, open mouth, sigh it out, release. And then change out your twist. Hips shift left, legs cross, knees drop right, gaze to the left. Back through center, draw yourself up into a boat. It's a little moment to reawaken the core, moving back and forth from low boat. Pause for the first one and then up to high boat, moving back and forth 10 rounds, low to high and low to high. Keeping the core engaged. Just moving back and forth, low boat to high boat. You complete in 10 rounds. You can cross your feet, plant your hands, and step back downward facing dog. Scoot the right leg up to the ceiling, and then draw your shin towards the front of your mat, setting yourself up for pigeon. Trying to square the shin up to the top of your mat as much as you comfortably can. Lift up through the chest, and then bow forward, releasing all the way down to the mat. As you settle into this posture here, allow your breath to start to shift so that every exhale takes a little bit longer than your inhale. Allowing each breath overall to take a few beats longer than the one before. As we slow our breath, we start to shift our nervous system from sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight or flight, something that many of us are dealing with a lot right now, into our parasympathetic nervous system, which is paradise. It's that place where everything is calm and peaceful, where you know that you are safe, so that you can release and unwind. and take a little comfort and a little restoration. On a physical level, it encourages your muscles to relax and let go. If you find at any point your pose is no longer serving you, you can curl your toes under and shift a little further forward to deepen the posture. As you feel complete, draw yourself up. Swing your back leg around to the front, placing the right foot inside the left leg. Flex your left foot, lengthen up, and then start to bow forward. So this pose may look very different in your body. We're all built very differently. Our levels of flexibility are very different. If you're able to bow fully forward and grab onto your foot, wonderful. If instead you find yourself mostly sitting up, you could plant your hands beside you to lengthen up through your torso and simply incline by a degree or two. You find what works for you. The goal within yoga is not to become incredibly limber. It is simply to become more limber than you were before. And when you're complete, you'll step back to down dog and set yourself up on the other side, drawing left shin to the front of your mat. First lengthening up through the chest, and then bowing forward. You may notice that one side is significantly tighter than the other. Know that that is very normal. It's absolutely okay. And again, as you settle in here, settle into breath. That uneven breath with the exhale a little longer than the inhale. Steady, even breath. Full inhale. Complete emptying out, exhale. Start to draw yourself back up. Pause for a beat. And then swing your right leg around in front of you, left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Lengthen through your spine and incline forward or bow forward, finding where you need to go. And settle in here for about 10 breaths. Finally, draw yourself all the way up. Find something that you can use to prop yourself up with, a block or a rolled up towel or a pillow, and place it between your shoulder blades. I prefer to take this very high. This is a supported fish. But putting a little bit of lift through your chest, letting your arms go wide, your head fall back. Legs could be straight on your mat or bringing the soles of your feet to touch, knees wide. This is simply a posture to open up through chest, heart, and throat. It should feel nice. So if you, as you settle into it, it feels uncomfortable, fidget around with it, move whatever it is that you've placed between your shoulder blades, making it a little lower or taking it a little higher up the spine, seeing what feels good to you. And then allow yourself to simply open up here. The temptation at times like these is to close ourselves off, to try to protect ourselves by curling in and blocking things out. I encourage you to take an opportunity to open up instead. When we're surrounded by fear and uncertainty, the greatest cure for that is love and connection, whatever connection we can find, even if we're in a situation where we can't physically be side by side with many of the people we love, but finding connections where you can. And then as you're ready, slide whatever it is that you've placed there out of the way and settle into a Shavasana. Now, Shavasana is meant to be as comfortable as possible. So if it feels good to you to take arms and legs wide and simply lay out flat, that's wonderful. If instead you need to put a little support underneath your knees or arms, feel free to do so. And close your eyes. Give yourself permission to accept stillness for a few moments. A period of time where you don't have to do anything, you don't need to change anything, you don't have to control anything at all. And take a deep breath in. Open mouth, sigh it out. Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. Bring some easy movements back to your body, wiggling fingers and toes. And stretch yourself out long on your mat from fingertips to toes. And curl yourself onto one side and pause there a moment. And then come into a comfortable seat, letting your eyes stay softly closed. Draw your hands to heart center. And take a moment to acknowledge yourself for taking care of yourself, for making time for just you. Namaste.